that I didn't turn the commentary button on. Okay, so I just hit the commentary button. So can you guys hear me now? Remember those commercials? Can you hear me now? Good. Stream implying that Vin has any friends. It's my good buddy Ben Webb. My good buddy Ben Webb. How's your boy Biden doing right now, Ben? Unbelievable. Unbelievable. All right. Got some legal information. That's good. Okay. All right, everybody can hear now. I got Senior Clay in the house. I got Ben in the house. Got Castillo in the house. Dropkick Chester. All my beautiful people. Where's Sorry? Sorry is in the other room with Zoe, I think. So it looks like you beautiful people are stuck with me. I apologize. 1,000 apologies. I need more chaga. So I am going to make sure. Can you tell D to bring me some chaga? Chaga is pretty good. A lot of medicinal benefits, anti-inflammatory stuff, all that jazz. So, I'm in a health food type of situation right now. So, I'm on my health food kick right now. So Trump is winning in 2020 despite doing a disastrous job of running things. Yeah, I know he will. Seven Dustin, what's good, buddy? I mean, it's Biden. Nobody expected Biden to win. Yeah. What are we doing on the live stream? Nothing, man. We're just chilling. Been trying to stay committed to giving everybody 2 hours every few days or so that we can, get our minds off of situations, if you know what I mean. So that's kind of the job. It was I just lost my train of thought because I just saw something. Maybe it'll come back again. I'm not sure. Chris in the house, Sinclair in the house, Joaquin Vergara. I had a cheddar and potato soup for dinner, making stuff work. You ever hear Veteran of the Psychic Wars by Blue Oyster Cult? No, I've never heard of that, but it sounds extremely interesting. I will probably check it out at some time. I really need this chill time. I'm losing my mind. Yeah, Ernie Acosta, bro. I hear you, man. You're not the only one, bro. A lot of us are losing our minds over this thing, bro. Terrible stuff. Terrible stuff. Terrible stuff. But inshallah, we stay home, wash our hands, all that jazz. I think all of us are going to be okay, inshallah. Dropkick, Hero of War by Rise Against. I had a friend that was a big Rise Against guy. How are you guys managing quarantine? We do. The only time we go out is I go out is to get the shopping and the essentials. But other than that, we're locked down. Life hasn't changed really a lot for us because we kind of stay to ourselves. We kind of we do our own thing. We're kind of in our own little world, and we homeschool the kids. We work from home, obviously, and so life hasn't really been upended for us a lot. So we're okay. I unfortunately don't have a lot of extended family that I know of, so I don't have any like older people in the 60, 70, 80 year range that are, in trouble. But Sorry's dad, I'm a little bit worried about him. Because he owns a small business and he's kind of like a workaholic, and his work has to do with going out into the public and such. So that and he's 60, 65, and he's not in very good health. So that worries me a little bit, to be honest with you. But at the end of the day, I've got a lot of faith in God, and he knows God, and if he dies, then better for him, sucks for us. So I'm not worried really for him. I'm worried for us, but I think he'll be all right, inshallah. Plans for another punk week. Maybe Bad Religion. Yeah, another punk week's on the way. The next themed week is gonna be covers week. We're like literally being held hostage by one band for covers week. So, you know, there's that. Vin, the lover of Pink Floyd, I'm rooting for a Wish You Were Here live album listen. Yeah, that's gonna happen. That's gonna happen. Sammy the Salmon Kid, my life is almost unchanged. I don't know how to feel about it. People around me are worried. I don't feel the same urgency. Yeah, it's kind of, like I said, there's one or two folks that, I think about a lot, but, life hasn't really changed for me. Nothing drastic has happened. So, yeah, I feel you. What's up, Salah Nasser? What's up, Salah? True story. I saw Fozzy at a festival like 5 or 6 years ago. Chris was feeling super stuffy and managed to get me right in the eye with a snot wad. That's great. That's great. Yuck. Are you planning on Hey, what's up, Josh? Are you planning on revisiting Wasp anytime soon? Get me a title. I might. What's up, Tosco? Good to see you, buddy. Brother Brian Discoveries. New fan here. I'm enjoying your videos. I have to tell you, I'm fair bit older than y'all's, but I respect what you're doing, and I'm up for more Pink Floyd in the Doors. Roger that. Roger that. We're definitely up for more Pink Floyd, for sure. Did Sori tell you about the idea for a live listen album week? No, I did not hear about that yet. That should be interesting. LC Ashba, what's up? That's weird. I never got the notification. I know. You got to click subscribe, like, hit the notification bell, all those things. Eventually you'll be able to you'll be okay. But yeah, I mean, I don't know what's going on with YouTube. Like I said, I'm not mad at them, but yeah, that's why we post on Facebook and Patreon and all those other outlets, so people can know that we're doing a live listen session. Where is the beautiful woman that reacts with you? She is in the other room watching a comedy, I think she's doing. More King Gizzard and the Lizard Wizard. Yeah. If the kind people that run that record label would stop blocking the videos, that would be very helpful. That would be awesome. So, we do these like massive bands like Tool and things like that. They'll demonetize the video, but they won't block the video. And when they demonetize the video, basically YouTube gives you the option of like, do you still want this thing to make money? The money's not going to go to you. It's going to basically go to YouTube and the record label. We keep it on because it's like, well, I'm not going to go out of my way and demonetize every video just because we're not getting the money. You know what I mean? And that's why we do the Patreon thing. So it evens out in the wash. Did you grow up on 16-bit video games? Yeah. And I remember, Eric, when I thought 16 bits was like the thing, man. Oh my God, 16 bits. Oh my God, that's twice as much as Nintendo. It's crazy. USA and UK, the only two countries in the world with more deaths than people recovered from corona. Hi, Vin. I'm currently translating the intro of my master's thesis and send it soon. Excellent. I'm very, very happy that you said that because I've been thinking about it the whole time. Thoughts on Biden's cringe interviews? Yeah, I said it in the most recent review we did. I just it's sad, man. And it also, call me a conspiracy theorist, but I think that CNN and the DNC got together and prepped Biden for like 48 hours straight on the debate he had with Bernie because he was way too lucid for these questions to just, be extemporaneous, that he had to come up with at the last second. Like, it was obvious to me that Mr. Biden, he was obviously prepped and he was underprepared for having a basic discussion about our current situation. My brother, one last thing, you're going to kill me. If you could just dump this out and get me some water, that would be great. Also, did you make any sausages for this thing?
Where are the sausages?
There's no more sausages? Okay, did you put red pepper on this one?
Oh,
just bring me up the red pepper, inshallah. Okay. Thank you. Love you. Good job. What's up, Kyrie? So I don't know how else to explain the last 2 or 3 Biden interviews in comparison to the guy that we saw debating Bernie, because the guy that debated Bernie, I mean, he held his own, obviously. And there were some points where he got Bernie, like when he said, Italy has single payer and they're in shambles right now. That's a very good argument that Bernie didn't really reply well to. And then he's on CNN and all these other places, and he just completely melts down. He talked about the cure is going to be worse than the whatever. It was just horrible. And honestly, I feel uncomfortable. I'm going to be honest with you guys. I feel uncomfortable talking about Biden at this point, especially in regard to his mental decline, just because what we're seeing is some of the most uncharitable political posturing I've ever seen in my life. For the DNC to continue to prop this guy up, Jazakallah. Hey, if you can find the peppermint and the turmeric. Oh, by the way, guys, Dorian's now officially taller than me. Even when we both have boots, he's officially taller than me. Mashallah, tabaraka. Get me the turmeric and the red pepper.
Where's the turmeric?
Ask Mom, she'll tell you.
Okay.
They gave Biden some coke before the debate. I don't know. So, I just think it's sad. I really do. I think it's sad. It's definitely a little embarrassing to watch it happen to him. And it's just, when you look at even 4 or 5 years ago, if you look at clips of him 4 or 5 years ago, the decline is very stark, and it's just a sad thing. And, I just wish that the DNC would have hitched their wagons to somebody else. Hitch it. They should have hitched it around Mayor Pete. I mean, I don't like him. I wouldn't vote for him, but I think Pete would have been able to articulate pretty well what's going on and what the solutions are, and put Mayor Pete with Kamala, and you got a pretty diverse woke ticket. Why they went with Biden, I have no idea. But what are you going to do? What are you going to do with turmeric? Turmeric is, I've got a list of things that I take on a daily basis, and I swear by them. They work, and it's all part of it. Yeah, more from Leonard Cohen. Fashal. Biden, Bernie, and Trump are 500 years old combined. I know, right? I know it. What's your favorite song you've reacted to? Favorite song. That Carnival song, all I know. We just recently yesterday did the full Pink Floyd. That was pretty good. Her Ghost in the Fog, Cradle of Filth. Plague Flowers, A Kaleidoscope, Navel of Ascaris. Probably my favorite. Trump trying to open the country next week is a totally political move for the upcoming election. Yeah. Shine On, You Crazy Diamond. Bricktown in the house. Yeah. Did Shine On, You Crazy Diamond. And I know it's like you just did it less than 24 hours ago, but it really is probably one of my favorite songs we've ever done. And look, I just looked on Social Blade. We've done 1,500 videos. So, Jazakallah. We've done 1,500 videos. Huh? Yeah, I mean, we're just talking. We've done 1,500 videos, so it's it's kind of hard to tell which is the best and which isn't. But that was one of my favorites, for sure. Shine On, You Crazy Diamond. Iron Maiden. Yeah, pretty much every Iron Maiden song. Just the musicianship in Iron Maiden really, really inspires me. Makes me want to work out. Makes me want to go run a couple miles. What's up, E-Fog? Echoes by Floyd. Sounds awesome. You should do the second half of the song now. What was your top 3 from the Rockathon? I'm not sure yet. I'll have to think about that. Because when I get questions like that, like I really think about it. I just don't want to throw out, whatever. What's your favorite Story Secret shirt pick? Just like to hear you say, oh, no, we had this guy from the channel, and he took a picture in the Game of Thrones throne with the Story Secret shirt. That was like the most epic. That was one of the top 3 most epic moments of all time in the village. Metal Church. People have been... Amorphous has gotten a couple 10s. Yeah. Brian Williams, I've made a video of me drumming to Rhyme of the Ancient Mariner. No way. Send me the video, Brian. Have you slow danced with Story yet? She was crushed. No, and I probably never will. If we get the 50% of Americans who don't vote to vote for Batman, do you think every lawmaker would start talking in a low, grumbly, mumbly voice to capture the Batman vote? I don't know. I don't know. Stranger things have happened. To me, if Biden wins the entire show, that would be stranger to me than Batman winning, and I mean that literally. We're just in a strange place right now in our country. Joshua Coe, Bricktown in the house. How much would we have to give you to slow dance with Story? There's no amount of money on the planet you can give me to slow dance with Story. It wouldn't happen. It'll never happen. What happened to the Coma White from the Rockathon? I am not sure. We stopped releasing Rockathon videos because people were saying they didn't like the Rockathon videos, so we stopped. But I'll check. Yeah, Della, there was a Cure song. It was kind of like a love song that I really enjoyed. It was like an 80s-ish type love song. Then my heavy metal song is Hallowed Be Thy Name, and my favorite hard rock song is Bohemian Rhapsody. I think I would probably re-listen to Hallowed Be Thy Name, I think. I tagged you in an article from Twitter yesterday. Have you seen it? No. Vin, there's a band called The Devil's Blood that I think you guys should check out sometimes. Built to Spill, 2 of my personal favorites. Okay. Gary Weed, what's up? Vin, did you see the couple that drank fish tank? Yeah. Terrible situation. Really sad stuff. And I was even more saddened by the attempts to politicize it. But yeah, I did see it. How much money to listen to a country song? I think you'd like Jason Bell. That would take a lot of money. You'd have to talk to Story for that. Send Story a hologram emitter that projects Vin's image. That might work. The Birthday Massacre have a new album out. God bless you all. Amen. Tonight, thought on doing some more Dream Theater, or too many slow sections in the middle for you. No, the last Dream Theater song we did, I'm pretty sure I gave it a 9.5 or a 10. So I kind of sweetened up the Dream Theater a little bit. Vin, are you a comic book fan? And if you are, choose a superhero and a heavy metal song that matches their personality. Don't choose a cop-out in Iron Man. So my brother, when we were in New York, he worked for the WB, and every Friday for Warner Brothers, and every Friday in Manhattan, every Friday he would show up with a stack of comics, but they were all DC comics. So I was never a Marvel person, mostly for that reason. The Batman stuff was good. That was my favorite. Superman was okay. JLA was cool. Impulse was like the Flash's like son or something like that. But obviously Batman, he was a dark, brooding character, obviously, kind of like an outsider. So Batman was my favorite story. But what I noticed about comics was it was more about your favorite author and your favorite artist, as more so than the character. So like if I saw a Batman, but it was written by some other guy who wasn't my favorite guy, and the name escapes me, then I wouldn't read it. But if it was my favorite guy, then I'd read it and all the rest of it. So I'd have to go with Batman. There's this thing called the Cataclysm that happened. It was like this massive earthquake and all the rest of it. And then like these robbers came into Wayne Manor, and of course the earthquake happens, and there's all this like wreckage, and so Batman's lair got discovered. And Alfred has this crazy line. He's like, "You figured it out. I'm Batman." So that was pretty cool. So Batman was my guy. What heavy metal song would I don't know. I'll have to think about that. Iced Earth had a whole record based on Spawn. Um, so there's that. Hey Vin, what's up? What's up, Horror Show? Good to see you, buddy. Vin, when are you going to do Big Bird, or does Story still think it's a joke? I forgot about Big Bird. Dang, Vin was trying to up video quality on my phone and accidentally tapped report. I canceled as fast as possible. Sorry if you get a notification. Don't know how it works. Don't worry about it, Joshua. It's all good, buddy. I get you. Don't worry about it. We're all good. Big question on Kill Switch or Engage. Howard or Jesse? I got introduced to Kill Switch in the first Jesse run. So I'm always going to say Jesse just because of, that. Tell Story to react to Mondo Kane. Are you a comic book fan? Okay, so I'm caught up on questions, I think. Hey, I saw Still We Destroy reaction just recently. You rated it fairly high. Would you consider doing another song by FFAA as it's been 10 months? I would recommend Black Mammoth. What is FFAA? What's that song? What's that band? Sorry. Somebody's cover of Say Hello to Heaven was epic. Was it Miley's cover? Send me an email about that, because I might put her up there for covers week. Zombie Holic. Whoa, thank you very much, Zombie Holic. Where's Sorry? You need to react to POD Youth of the Nation. Hey, what's up, Sarcast? Hope you're doing good, buddy. Praying for you. I prayed for you today. Yeah, I think it's about time for Youth of the Nation. It's very close. How are you doing tonight? Really good. Did I listen to In Flames? Yes. I had one little period where it was a massive... Actually, it was a pretty... In Flames got me through a pretty terrible personal tragedy. So I'm hoping that we can get back to listening to some In Flames. For sure. King in my own mind. Vid, would love to see you have a convo with Randy from Lamb of God. That would be interesting to listen to. Yeah, it's very possible that may happen. So it's possible. Keep your fingers crossed that this CV situation doesn't make us miss that opportunity. Favorite Metallica song from the Master of Puppets is Battery. Battery is one of the heaviest songs. I think my favorite song on the Puppets record has got to be Disposable Heroes. I just think that is Kirk Hammett's greatest solo. The solo on Fade to Black is my favorite solo of all time, but I think the best solo I've ever heard in a song has got to be Kirk's solo on Disposable Heroes. And that entire song was just, to me, to this moment, is like just one of the greatest songs in metal history. Just heavy, just unbelievable stuff. Definitely like next level stuff. For sure. It's just crazy song. I remember I was actually in a mental hospital trying to play that song, and I just remember my forearm just like right from the beginning, like because of James Hetfield's downstroke stuff. It was just, I just never seen something like that before in metal at all. It's unbelievable. El Vite, yeah, we actually did a El Vite song like the first 3 months in the channel. So American Head Charge, I saw American Head Charge live way back in the day. They were interesting. I made a gif of Vin rocking out to the Lateralis. Send it to me. I'd like to see that. How do I become part of the village? You're in it, buddy. That's all. Facebook.com/Vin and Story. You're in it, man. The village is just all of us, talking, hanging out, listening to music, all that jazz. Can you send me some TP? I'll send you Mayo as a trade. It's stuck for a while. I was gonna send it to you until you mentioned Mayo. What are your favorite solos of all time for Guns N' Roses and AC/DC? That's probably my biggest. I don't want to say regret. I'll just use regret as a placeholder. Is the fact that we got a copyright strike. So we get copyright hits all the time on, every video we do because we don't cut up videos. And, it's inconvenient. They demonetize the video, but it is what it is. We take care of that with Patreon. But when they block, the next thing up is they block your video so nobody can see it. And then, we've figured out a way around that. We just put the video up on Vimeo and send you guys the link so that you guys can see it. But a copyright strike puts your entire channel in jeopardy. They report to YouTube that you violated some whatever, and then YouTube strikes your channel, and that has massive ramifications. So, Guns N' Roses hit us with a copyright strike, and so we had to take down all of our Guns N' Roses videos. So, that was pretty tough. I removed my GNR reaction out of concern of a strike. Yeah. I mean, it's, like I said, I appreciate YouTube and the ability to have a platform like this. It's awesome. And really, it's not YouTube, it's the record label. But, copyright strikes are tough, man. Is there a better 4-album run than Lightning Puppets' Justice in the Black Album? Yeah. I mean, I think Korn had the first Korn record. Peachy was good, but it wasn't like earth-shattering. Then you had Follow the Leader, which changed the game. Then you had Issues, which changed the game. It's very, very hard to do 4 ridiculous records back to back to back. I think Korn had 3 out of 4 with self-titled, Peachy, Follow the Leader, and then Issues. I think it was a 3 out of 4. But you'd be hard pressed if I don't know much about Pink Floyd, but it seems to me that almost every Floyd record was just ridiculous, insane, really good. Vin, do you think it's crazy that Tool went 13 years without an album and dropped Fear Inoculum months before a pandemic? Yeah, that's some legendary stuff. That's legendary. You got to give it to him for that. Tasco, the strike against the channel has since been removed. I think it's like 3 months. So yeah, I mean, tough stuff. Favorite Cradle of Filth song would probably have to be Her Ghost in the Fog. Just the nostalgia of it, considering that was something that was pretty important for our channel. Have you had a chance to check out Ordinary Man by Ozzy? Yes, it was recommended actually in this forum, and so we set it up as the next main stage song the next day, and we did it. Good song, good video, really touching stuff. At the end of the day, it's about your family. You know what I mean? That's what I took out of it, especially watching the video. You can do all this stuff all over the world and all the rest of it, man. But at the end of the day, it's about your family. And that's, the first half of my life. Well, not the first half, but the first quarter of my life was devoted to, the world and doing things in the world and wanting to be in a history book and all that. And I did it. And so, now the rest of my life is just dedicated to my family and making sure that everybody in my family is good. So that's what I took from that video. We had a pretty good discussion about it. I'm trying to get my boots off right now. Favorite Kill 'Em All song, No Remorse. I like phrases like no remorse. We'll have to check that out on the next cycle. I remember we were doing Metallica once a week. People went crazy. Oh my God, it's Metallica again. This is the Metallica channel. Hey Vin, have you heard of Korn's Thoughtless performed by Evanescence? No, But that's another one that's going into covers week. So that should be interesting. I've got a Kill Switch Engage song that's lined up that was covered by a band that nobody's ever heard from. I actually got in contact with the band, and I was like trying to talk. They were like in their 20s. I tried to talk to them or whatever. They just completely blew me off. They're like, yeah, whatever. And then I guess they figured out who we were or whatever and tried to get back in contact with us or whatever. But, you know, I got busy. But that's a funny story. We're still gonna do that band though for covers week. I check your channel day by day only to see if you've done something new from Cradles. Yeah. Favorite master song. Favorite master song is Disposable Heroes. Have you gotten your copy of the Gospel of Filth yet? Yeah, somebody sent that to us in the Christmas in July, in one of the Christmas in July videos, which we're overdue for doing. Good Lord. Roadrunner United is Trivium, Slipknot, Machine Head, Fear Factory, and more covering each other. Whoa. Hi from Argentina. Sorry. React to Carajo, Animal, Rata Blanca. Rata Blanca, I remember way back, Rata Blanca, somebody requested them. Vin, have you heard Marilyn Manson's cover of God's Gonna Cut You Down? No. But that's another one I feel like we should do. Miguel Valdez, sending best wishes to your family. Been here since the Avenged Sevenfold beginning. Is it safe for the content? Rock on. Stay safe, everyone. Appreciate that, Mr. Valdez. That was the band, man. Avenged Sevenfold. That was the band. That was the first time we did a song and like all the fans collapsed in the comment section and started going, get this. And there was one week we did like 4 Avenged Sevenfold reviews in like a week. That's when we were doing 1 review a day. That was pretty crazy. So shout out to all the Avenged Sevenfold fans. Covers week. You need to include Baby One More Time by Children of Bodom. What? Send that to me in an email. This is going to be a very interesting covers week. I'll tell you what. Vin, what about a review of Pink Floyd's Hey You by Boba Flex? Great song from the Wall album. Okay. I don't know who Boba Flex is. Your reaction is Silent Scream. I had the same reaction. Yeah, Zombie. That was I had no idea what was going on. You know, it was Slayer, yada, yada, yada. And then, like, when we pieced together the subject matter, it was pretty crazy. It was pretty crazy. Would you sacrifice your folks to bring the economy back to the way the governor suggested? No, I think that's absolutely horrifically Machiavellian and crazy and terrible. And I hope nobody takes his, you know, being pro-life is about being pro-life. And for Republicans to say something like that on national TV is borderline criminal in my estimation. It really is. I think that's such a terrible thing to say. And you know, the crazy thing is like people like him are not going to be in any real danger. He's going to get a ventilator. He probably has a personal ventilator in his house. You know what I mean? Like, don't get me started. Don't get me started. Lord, help me. I'd say Death's cover of Painkiller is a must for covers week, but Death is weird about blocking. Korn covered Another Brick in the Wall. Okay. One could even call it deplorable. Deplorable would be a nice way of saying it, Bricktown, but yeah, I feel you. Sorry, it's Oops, I Did Again by Children of Bodom. Even worse. Send me that link, bruh. Oh my gosh. We need to get everyone's health and safety back on track first. 100%. 100%. Tool, No Quarter, a Led Zeppelin cover. Man, I wish Kai was here to get me all the names of these songs because I'm genuinely intrigued by them and I definitely want them for Covers Week. The Covers Week is shaping up to probably be my my favorite week, although I very much enjoyed Punk Week. Got the Life, Kyrie. Got the Life is my all-time favorite song ever. Of all time. Vin, looking at Alliance, and it looks like you, after forever, beautiful emptiness. I'll have to check on Trello. Rage Against the Machine, Allison Chains, the cover of Another Brick in the Wall. It's fantastic. Really? What's your take on Mexico's response to coronavirus? I don't know. I don't know what Mexico did. Is Tool still block happy? We just did a Tool song for the main stage tomorrow, and they did not block it. They, they took the money, but they didn't block it. You know what's crazy? Tool used to let you monetize your videos. They used to let you monetize the whole thing, and then right before Inoculum went out, all these copyright claims started coming up. So if you want to monetize it, Blake, all you do is stop it every 30 seconds. You know what I mean? But they're not going to block it. They're going to let you play it. Vin, have you ever heard of, first of all, thank you very much, Matt Jones. Appreciate you, my homie. Vin, have you ever heard of Lorna Shore, a symphonic black and deathcore band that I could especially see Sorry enjoying their album Immortal is masterful? I don't think I've heard of that band. Send me an email about that band. There's so many things I want to. You ever wish you could like divide yourself into 3 people? I used to wish that a lot. I wish I could divide myself into 3 people. I'd be a lot more productive, I think. Not only is Mexico not responding to it, their president is actively encouraging staying social and continuing work. What's the logic there? Everybody, like chicken pox, everybody gets it and then become immunized. That's a great way to make folks seeking asylum and immigration in America. That's a good way to set that back a decade. Good night. But we'll have to look at the numbers, and if Mexico's numbers aren't increasing exponentially, then I guess you could have an argument, right? Just sounds to be against every documented scientific recommendation that I've heard so far. Big recommendation for Covers Week: A Perfect Circle's covers of John Lennon's Imagine. Send that to me. Definitely. KNR now asks for permission from the band label before they do a reaction. Well, I appreciate you listening to the songs without stopping them, but Vin, you deserve the money. Yeah, Matan or Matan Bar. In our mind, that's where the Patreon thing comes in. Somebody says, "Hey, I'd give $1 a month." They're not, for them not to continue to listen to it all the way through and all that. And so, if 1% of our constituency were to do that, we would be more than fine, right? So I get it. It's kind of annoying when you see the copyright thing come through, and you've done 1,500 videos, and I think the number is like 94% of them have been blocked, have been demonetized. But like I said, I'm always going to appreciate the fact that YouTube has given us this platform, and ultimately it's not really YouTube, it's the record label. But I hear you. Dave likes A Perfect Circle. Thank you, Dave. The logic being that life goes on and you can't really do anything about the virus, so you might as well just continue living the best you can. I think that's terrible logic. China has demonstrated what you can do about the virus. You lock down for about 30 days. You stay inside. You treat the people that are sick and practice social distancing, wash your hands, and then that's how you beat the virus. I think that's ridiculous logic. I think that's terrible. And now you've just given Trump an actual legitimate reason to bar the entire country from allowing Mexican nationals to come in here. So I'm not a fan of that logic at all. The problem with that is it's not just your life you're making the call for, it's the people around you, perhaps even your parents. Well, definitely your parents. Young people are relatively okay, especially if you're in any sort of decent shape, but good Lord, what a horrible logic. I sent Sorry a link to APC Imagine this morning. It must be the official music video. It's powerful. Okay, inshallah, we'll do that, and we'll have the official video. Favorite Megadeth song from Countdown to Extinction? Tool Maynard cover of Imagine is really good. Totally different mood to it. Yada yada yada. Okay. Yeah, well, obviously that's definitely going to make it on the short list for sure. Trump is delusional by thinking we'll be okay by Easter. Yeah. You know, that's one of the reasons I haven't shot any Middle America videos about CV, and it's because I feel I don't want to. It's weird, right? But I don't want to give a platform to him when he says all this stuff. So I don't even want to report on it because A, everybody's seen it already anyway, and B, I just don't want to perpetuate it because I really take it seriously that I don't want to influence one person in the wrong direction in this situation. So, yeah, it's pretty crazy stuff. Pretty crazy stuff. V, you need to do some more moon spell. I agree. I need to do some moon spell because it sounds like a cool name. No, guys, it's okay because Easter feels good to him. He wants the churches packed. Yeah, that's the other thing. Like, pack the churches. Like, and you know, on Easter, for most of you guys that don't know about evangelicalism, a lot of evangelical churches don't do communion every week, but they'll do it on special occasions. And usually Easter is when, you know, they do the communion. Just so many different ways of cross-pollinating infections and things like that. Like, I genuinely, I don't understand what's happening sometimes with the people who are running our country. Most powerful country in the world. And these are the people at the controls. It's unbelievable to me. I'm sure Jesus is okay with you praying from home. Right. Correct. Correct. Don't get me started. Those are my people. Don't get me started, y'all. Bowser's reaction pit. Can you message me? I can't figure out how to apply for my silver play button. Yeah. It was pretty crazy. I can get you connected to the people that can get that for you, brother. And if you earned a silver play button, you freaking deserve it because you worked hard for it. We know what it's like. It's extremely difficult. Let me see. Let me go to Bowser's reaction pit here. I feel like I've talked to you once or twice. Like way back in the day. Did we? I kind of remember your name. Yep. You're definitely at 100K. Yeah, you definitely deserve it, bro. That's like really difficult to do. Your thumbnail game is on point too. Is there 2 people that you do reactions with? Everybody check out Bowser's reaction pit, you guys. Let me paste his name. What's up, Timothy? Timothy Daigle. That's Bowser's reaction pit, guys. You should check it out. You ever have a nightmare so bad that you woke up and were afraid to fall back asleep? No, because usually if I'm in that type of situation, I'm not going back to bed anyway, no matter how hard I try. I saw a great quote on Facebook today. With church doors shutting across the world, it is time for us to show that the church has never been about the building. Right, Doug. There's lots of very beautiful ramifications that can come out of this CV situation. But you've got certain evangelicals saying that they're not going to close their doors and they're trying to make this about rights and the government's persecuting us and the government can't tell us what to do and they're overstepping their bounds and separation of church and the state. It's like, come on, guys. Let's be real here. And then, you know, all these churches that are doing this whole, like, we're not going to listen to the government thing. Like, you're going to do the funerals too? And what are you going to say in the funeral? When you were the leader and, like, the elderly portion of your constituency, now you're doing funerals for a bunch of them back to back to back. What are you going to say then? Just weird stuff, man. Sometimes people's lack of knowledge in leadership positions is unbelievable to me. Unbelievable. Me and Sporto do reactions. Okay. Ever done a fans band? I don't know what you mean by a fans band. Vin, can you please read my comment from before? Anthony Manzano. Let me check. Vin, when you have a chance, can you react to Parkway Drive, Bottom Feeder, Parkway Drive, The Void? Yes, when I have a chance. My church told us to just pray at home, read the Bible, and just be a good person in general. That's God, all God asked for us. I like that message. Right. Correct. It's, right. And to be fair, I think most churches are doing the right thing in this situation. You know, I just think it's a few, you know, weird people that are, you know, they will say it's God's will. Right, Jason. Right. That's what they'll do as cop-outs, you know. And if you don't know me, I'm a Christian, evangelical Christian, believe every word of the Bible, believe Jesus lived, died on the cross for our sins, rose from the dead on the third day, and that if you believe in him, you'll have eternal life. I believe all that stuff. I just think that, you know, the operative principle is love your neighbor. And so if gathering in a confined area, we're all sharing the same space with an airborne virus that has been killing people, if we can stop doing that for 30 to 45 days, which is about 4 or 5 church services, but we can save the lives of human beings, and that's the most loving thing we should do. I saw some really cool stuff come from this in New York. They put out a call for retired doctors and nurses to help. The next day they had close to 30,000 people. Yeah, I mean, you're seeing I think Facebook donated like 70,000 masks or something like that. Like, you know, it's like Mr. Rogers said, watch the helpers, man. The helpers are going to come out. People are going to do great things. And like I said, for the most part, people have been responding in awesome ways. It's just fringe people, some of whom are in our government, that are saying, screw this. Let's just keep going business as usual. Ridiculous. But yeah, Bowser, send me an email, vinandsorry@gmail.com, and I will connect you to the connect that I had at Google so that you can get your thing. What do you mean RIP Tom Cruise? Stop playing around. Stop playing around. Nothing happened to Tom Cruise. 200 deaths reported today, by the way, for CV. So take it seriously. Since tests are still super expensive in America, I think the best thing we can do is offer free tests. Cough on your neighbor if they get sick. You're horrible. You're a horrible human being. Wow, Buzzworthy. Sorry to hear that, buddy. Some of whom are in the MA group. No comment, Tasco. One of my close friends that I've known for 20 years, his wife is sewing masks for the doctors in the New York area. Wow. What did Jesus do the 3 days he was dead? Well, he told the dying thief, he said, today you'll be with me in paradise. So he was chilling in paradise in the spirit, and then his spirit united it with his body at the resurrection. Kentucky CV party last week. 39 of the 40 attendees tested positive. Send me a link that validates that. Please. Yeah. I mean, where is Sori? Sori is watching TV in another room. The Vikings believe Jesus spent 3 days conquering hell. Okay, I'll take it. Nothing wrong with that. Shout out to the Vikings. There was a grocery store cashier that got intentionally coughed on by an upset customer who claimed to have the virus. They may charge him with terroristic threats. Good. I hope they do. I really do. People are crazy right now, man. Unbelievable. So we're out of these sausages?
Yeah.
I wish we had more.
Ask Mom. Let's get some.
Was watching The Shawshank Redemption, but this is better. Whoa, Easy D. Appreciate it, buddy. Sori's mad about the slow dancing. No, I don't think so. Are you doing requests tonight? No. But people still ask for them. It just comes with the territory. I heard about that, and I agree with Vin. He's going to be a good example to be set. Huh? Who are we talking about here? What did Leah say? There was a... Oh, yeah. Terrible stuff. Odin's Child. I don't know if you got to see it or have done these, but hell yeah, covering I Don't Care Anymore and Cradle of Filth covering Ozzy's Mr. Crowley. And have you brushed up on your Norse mythos yet? Well, as far as the Norse mythos, I've gotten a book from a good friend of mine that provides some context to some of the amorphous stuff. And then I've gotten a couple other books too for Christmas in July. So you might be surprised at my Norse mythology uptick, buddy. Here in Australia, they let a cruise ship dock in Sydney. 1,200 people walked off untested. Our island border defense breached. Hundreds of positive people walking the community. Unbelievable stuff. Love the Papa doll, by the way. Yeah, a couple people made that for us and sent it to us, man. That was pretty crazy. I think they're called like Plushie or something like that. Vin, y'all ever gonna do an emo or scrams week? Very underrated genres. So far, you've only done one from each. I could definitely see us doing an emo week, and there's a lot we could do aesthetically speaking for emo week too. So, yeah, I definitely see emo week happening. Sori's busy watching Hallmark movies where men slow dance with their lovers. Good one. Z, are you really sick? Like, honestly, are you really sick? I blame... Oh, this is chaga, by the way. Drink chaga. It's a superfood. It'll absolutely help you. I swear by some chaga. Well, Z, are you going to go get tested? That's important. Please don't talk to me about anything relative to the Vikings show, because we haven't finished it yet. Isn't there at least a discussion that could be had without being an irresponsible conspiracy guy? Yes, there are lots of discussions that can be had without being an irresponsible conspiracy guy. I do not believe that you're just supposed to buy whatever the media sells you. However, if you have scientists across the board who are not part of our political milieu, and they're all univocal in telling us something, then I think if you're going to contradict those scientists, which is possible, then you've got to come up with scientific data that supports that contradiction. That's when it becomes irresponsible. Now, if a person says, this is a legitimate, scientifically vetted issue, but our government is going to use this problem this way, I think that that's in play. Or if you say, yep, this is a legitimate, scientifically vetted issue, but our government was complicit in bringing this about, I also think that's a conspiracy. But again, that's a way of being a responsible conspiracy theorist. What is irresponsible is violating the recommendations of vetted scientists who have spent their entire lives in this particular field of study, and in many instances longer than we've been alive, like Dr. Fauci, for example, and contradicting what those guys say without real good reason why. That is what is irresponsible. So hopefully that elucidates my position. Well, 8 Flight, do me a favor and get me the list of scientists that are saying that we should not social distance and wash our hands and all the rest of it. And let me know. Appreciate that, Amy Lee Forever. Corn, what's up, Mandy? What are your thoughts on Christian atheism? It seems almost like a Buddhist take on Christianity, kind of like a polar opposite to LaVeyan Satanism. I don't know what Christian atheism is. It's the first time I've heard of it, but it's probably something relatively close to what they called atheism plus about 8 to 10 years ago. And I think the point is to say, look, this Jesus guy was really awesome. Sermon on the Mount's a really good way to live. So let's apply a Jesus morality into our atheist worldview, and voila, you get Jesus atheism. And I think, hey, anytime somebody includes Jesus into something, I'm for it. So I think Jesus atheism is probably going to be better for the world than a lot of certain versions of quote Christianity. Obviously, from my perspective, from a biblical perspective, living the Sermon on the Mount is not what saves your soul. What saves your soul is faith in the crucified, buried, and risen Jesus. But my contention is, hey, the more people are fascinated with the person of Jesus and the more they try to live the life that he lays out for us to live, then the higher the probability of a person converting is, whatever that means. Bowser's Reaction Pit. You guys rock. Keep doing what you do, and thanks again for the shout out to our channel. I'll message you soon. Yeah. Much love to you, big homie. And congratulations on 100K, man. That's amazing. That's a real accomplishment. And I know that it must have took a lot of work for you to get there. So shout out to you. I've been keeping an eye on my oxygen saturation every couple of hours. Got 2 oximeters, 2 ear thermometers, and 2 oral thermometers, checking everything regularly. Well, this is one of the times that I'm glad that you're a Silicon Valley person and that you've got the capital to get yourself set up in that situation, Z. So keep it going. Isn't Jordan Peterson technically a Christian atheist? I think Jordan Peterson is not an atheist anymore. I think, like, he converted David, whatever the guy's name is, the guy that used to work for the Young Turks. The guy's now a theist because of Jordan Peterson. So David Rubin, I think his name is. So no, I don't think that Jordan Peterson is an atheist, an atheist Christian. But I do think that you could have made that case way back in the day, for sure. What do you think of Metallica Judas Kiss guitar solo? Thanks, Chris. You know, I'm gonna go and listen to Judas Kiss, the studio version, because we heard it live. So I'm gonna listen to the Judas Kiss studio version before I answer that question, okay? Because I wanna see. So actually, I'm probably gonna load it up right now. And no, I'm not gonna. Actually, no, I'm not going to load it up right now because YouTube is going to block the entire thing. And you beautiful people's, what do you call it? Let me see. I might listen to it on my headphones. How about that? So I'll listen to it on my headphones and then I'll let you know what I thought of the solo. And this is not like a reaction request because I've already reacted. We've already reacted to Judas Kiss. So this is me wanting to analyze the, just the solo. Okay, so Chris, give me a second. I load up Judas Kiss here. And then we'll get to the solo, and then I'll tell you what I think of the Judas Kiss solo. Okay? Give me a second. Alright, Judas Kiss. Kirk Hammett's Best Live. Stand by, y'all. Trying to hear this Judas Kiss solo without if I play it like without my headphones, then the whole stream is gonna get demonetized. Okay, give me a second. Got a little bit of Hendrix to it. Okay, that was I'll say that was one of Kirk's most dynamic solos. I still don't think that solo comes close to the Disposable Hero solo at all. But nothing in my mind comes close to the Disposable Heroes solo. But definitely one of his more dynamic ones, for sure. Let's see. This is a genuine question, not trying to be contrarian or difficult, but why is it the test for entry into heaven is to believe in the death and resurrection, not say good works in the Sermon on the Mount? I don't think you're being a contrarian. I think there's a lot of wisdom and a lot of ancillary benefits to that. And here's why. If we made entry into heaven about how good of a person you were, that would be absolutely psychologically traumatizing for this very reason. How do you know that you've done good enough? So like your entire life, you could be doing all these things and like trying to stack up like these stones of goodness to try to put on the scale so that it would be weighted in your favor. But how do you know that you didn't die one stone short? So your entire life, you'd kind of have this panic and terror and fear behind you that you haven't done enough good stuff. So that's one reason. Another reason would be that Jonathan Edwards wrote this essay one time, and he called it The Nature of True Virtue. And he's trying to figure out what at the ground level actual virtue is about. And most of us would say that an act is virtuous if it is motivated by love for another person. So the degree to which the act is motivated by love to another person is the degree to which we would say that the person's being virtuous. Well, here's the thing. If I made getting to heaven about good works or good deeds, then there would always be a percentage of that good deed that is not motivated purely for the good of the other person, but also motivated by my own well-being, because I'm doing these good deeds to get myself enough stones to get into heaven. But if the heaven-hell question is already settled, right? So as a Christian, I believe I don't have to do any other good thing in my life for the rest of my life, and my security with God in the afterlife is already settled. That's out of the question. So then if I do a good deed, it's not out of fear that I'm going to, get tossed into some hellfire if I didn't do enough goodness. And it's also not motivated by any sort of human pride or self-aggrandizement. Then what's left is you do good deeds because you are compelled by love. Like one of my favorite passages in the Bible, it says, "For the love of Christ compels us, because we are convinced that one died for all, and therefore all died. And he died for all, that those who live should no longer live for themselves, but live for him who lived and died on their behalf." Right? And so what's left for a person, if your good deeds are not what gets you to heaven, what's left then is you have a better shot at loving more purely, because I'm not worried about the fear of hell or the reward of heaven. Both of those have already been settled because of what Jesus did. So then all the good things that I do after that are motivated, or supposed to be motivated in a good day, for the benefit of the other person and not for myself, or for the good of God, the glory of God, and the good of people. So that's why the entry marker is faith in Christ and not your good deeds. Because remember, this is a family issue. This is about adoption, right? So like my son, if I say to him, you know what, man, you're on probation. You're in this family, but you're kind of in probation. And based on how well you do on a day-to-day basis, that will determine whether or not you're in the family. You'd say, you are a horrible parent, right? But if I were to say, look, my blood's in your veins. You got my last name. You're in the family no matter what you do, bruh. But here's the thing. As representatives of our family, this is how we live. This is how we move in the world. This is how we treat people that are underdogs. This is how we value all human life. So we're not going to co-sign hurting babies, but we're also not going to co-sign, hey, you 80, 85-year-old people, sacrifice yourself for the life of the economy. We don't do that in this family, right? And so I'm not going to make it about whether or not he's in the family. He's in the family, period, right? Like There's no test he has to pass. There's no none of that. He's in the family. But now what I want him to do is I want him to take care of his brothers and sisters because he loves them and he loves me. It would break my heart if my son did something really awesome and I said, "That's awesome, bro. What motivated you to do that?" And he said, "Yeah, I just want to make sure that you don't kick me out of the family. That would kill me if he said that." So anyway, that's kind of a long-winded answer to what in my mind was a very, very important question. So there's the answer, Bricktown. What about all the people in history that never knew about Christ? They didn't get into heaven. Where do they go? Hell. No, I don't believe that, Tejas. I believe that everybody who wants God will have him. It doesn't matter where you are. That Acts chapter 17 says that God placed us where we are for specific reasons so that we might feel after him, though he's not far from each one of us. So the guy in the jungle is placed there because he's in the best possible situation to get to God. I hope you realize that being raised in the Western world many times can create inhibitions to faith. And that there are times when the guy in the jungle has a better shot at trusting in God than a modernized American would be. And so the person who's never heard of Christ, you don't have to hear of Jesus Christ and yada, yada, yada. What you have to do, though, is you have to want God. And if a person wants God, they will have him. If a person doesn't want God, they will have that too. So that's how I'd answer that question. Couldn't a Christian do good deeds for pride? Why not? Just as an atheist could. Oh, absolutely. I think Christians do good deeds for pride all the time. It's one of the reasons why, I hate these videos where guys have, a cell phone and they help somebody, pay their gas bill, at the pump and like, I get it. I understand, sometimes you're trying to encourage other people to do it, but I also think that there's a lot of motivations for pride and self-aggrandizement when we do things like that. So yeah, Christians absolutely are motivated by pride many times. What I'm talking about is God's design in the whole salvation story. So that's kind of what I mean by that. Do mods work for YouTube or are they volunteers? No, mods are just my friends. So Zonia is one, I think Leah's one, that type of thing. Any reason you and Sori never got back to My Dying Bride? You both seem to have a strong reaction to the song. Yeah, I liked My Dying Bride. We'll probably get back to it. I mean, if you notice right now, we're back to doing more mainstream bands because we've caught up a little bit with our Patreon community. So basically, the format of the channel is going to be mainstream bands on the main stage, and then Patreon pick whether individual or alliance in the underground. And we're also thinking about another format that I think people will like. It will increase our work tempo, but I think people will like it. So we shall see. Hey Vin, I can't remember which video it was, but you mentioned having an issue with the way the black community came out in support of the Black Panther movie. What was the issue you had? Yeah, Potato. This idea that this was some great moment in black history and this was great and we have a black hero and now my sons can see a black hero portrayed on the screen, and that to me was that was the epitome of why there's so many problems in the black community. This might sound self-serving, but the hero of my kids currently is their father. They don't look to T'Challa for guidance. They don't look to T'Challa for how to, manage their income and manage their life and work ethic and relationships and things like that. They look to me. So, whether or not they had T'Challa is incidental to that. And so for me, it's like black folks are just in America are just too easily pandered to, and it gets reflected in our government. Where Democratic debates happen and there's all these silly little pandering things, and then some, what's his face says he wants to put a black Supreme Court justice up. I'm seeing all these memes with black people. It's just I don't know, it just seems the black folk in America are just like begging white people to give them a little bone here and there to validate themselves. And it's like, okay, Black Panther, that's great. It's owned by a white company. You just made so it's like that's not real power, my guy. It's not real power. So one, it's like you're supposed to be your kid's hero. Your son should already have a hero. It should be you. That's the same for white fathers. That's the way things are supposed to be. It's like your kids are supposed to idolize you, and then when they become teenagers, they go, "Wait a second, you were full of shit the whole time." Like that's how it's supposed to go. Like you're not supposed to outsource that to T'Challa and vibranium and all that. Like it's bananas to me. It's absolutely crazy to me. And it was very troubling to me to see, because it was just like this sort of like the mental sort of subservience that is obvious in the black community, that this was so important to them. To me, was like indicative of like how far we need to go. It's like my mom I didn't have a dad growing up. My mom had me read Marcus Garvey, and I was reading Alex Haley, reading Roots, and Malcolm X, and like those people were like, men to me. Like, okay, like that's Malcolm. He's standing at the door with the shotgun, any means necessary. I'm going to protect my family, type of thing. So the idea that some fictional comic book character owned and operated by white people is somehow some validation of black worth in America was extremely infuriating to me, and still is, and explains a lot of the reasons why, in my opinion, black people are in the situation they're in this country. So that's why. Ugh. Yeah, Vin, make Leah a mod. Yeah, the Black Panther character had been around for decades. Yeah, and I would rather my sons know about Huey Newton than T'Challa. That's the other irony of the whole thing. You go to a movie called Black Panther, you don't know who Huey Newton is. Like, it's stuff like that bothers me. Nap King Online. Yeah, the movie was hokey. And then, the scene where the white guy's there and the guy's yelling at him and they diss the white guy. I'm like, why do you have to do that? Like, come on. Like, there's no need to do that. But whatever. Black worth in America. They weren't even Americans in the movie. I know. I blame gravity. I know. She's a mod on the MA channel. She's not a mod on Vin and Story. Oh, okay. My bad. I don't trust Leah as a mod. That's why we need to make her a mod. So that's my position on the Black Panther thing. Ever thought of green screen? No. Do you not believe in the Revelations book? No, I believe in Revelation. That's like one of my favorite books of the Bible. It's in the top 3. I would want God in that scenario, no doubt, but every fiber of my being telling me it's just not true. Well, Ape Flight, what I would say is I'd shoot up a quick prayer and say, hey, God, if you're there, please change the fibers of my being, because right now, I don't think it's real. I think it's all bullshit. I think that's a valid prayer. There's nothing wrong with that. It's the only time we get along is as mods of Vin and Story's channel. Oh, gosh. Yeah. Got to get back to work. That's you and the fam. Much love to you, 7 Dusted. Vin, you should make me a mod so I have power to abuse. I like the movie just fine. Not one of my top favorite Marvel films. Yeah, the movie was fun. It was great. The movie was fun. I just didn't like all the import that was put into it from the black community. It was actually one of the more embarrassing moments for me, actually, of the year. And it's very, very hard to embarrass me, honestly. But that one was up there. I'll give it a shot, Vin. There you go. That's all you can do. Just remain honest, We wouldn't be able to see Booby with a green screen. That's true. Revelation book is literally the only book in the Bible I read. Well, you're missing a lot. You're missing a lot because Revelation has like the most Old Testament allusions of any book. There are more Old Testament allusions in that one book than there is in the rest of the 26 other books of the New Testament. So you're missing a ton if you only read that. Sup, Steven from Philly? Sup, sir? What do you think Revelation is about? I mean, specifically, I don't think anyone can accurately decipher that book. Well, 12 Roots, Revelation tells us right from the beginning what's about. The revelation of Jesus Christ, which God gave to him to show unto his servants the things which must soon come to pass. He showed it by his angel to his servant John. I think that's Revelation 1. And so Revelation was written, in my view, prior to the destruction of the Jewish temple in 70 AD, and it's specifically dealing with a couple themes. It's the whore versus the bride. I would say the whore is the apostate Judaism that has turned away from God, and then the bride would be the true people of God who come to God through Jesus Christ. So it's a whore versus the bride. It's the beast versus the lamb, which would be the beast would be the Antichrist, which would be Nero, and the lamb would be Jesus. It's the dragon versus God, which the dragon would be Satan, and then God would be God the Father. It's the people above versus the people below. And so you have all these contrasts in Revelation, and it's specifically dealing with the fact that the early church was being persecuted, and that the main persecution was located in Jerusalem, and it was talking about how the saints needed to be patient because God was about to bring retribution to Jerusalem. And it also contained warnings for the people of God to get out of Jerusalem, which they listened to, actually, very fascinatingly enough, if you read Eusebius. And definitely one of the most amazing slices of history. When you read Josephus's Wars of the Jews and then you compare that to Revelation, it's fascinating stuff. Like, let me give you an example. Revelation mentioned hailstones that weigh 100 talents, right? Like these 100-pound hailstones, which we know is scientifically impossible. But what was interesting is Josephus records in the Wars of the Jews that the Romans had these catapults, and they would sling these giant stones, and wouldn't you know it, they weigh exactly the same amount as the talents listed in the book of Revelation. And another thing that was very interesting is when the Jews would see these giant boulders being launched from the catapults coming, they would say the sun, S-O-N, is coming when these things would come up in the air. So just really, 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 really fascinating stuff. I think if you try to make Revelation talk about Black Hawk helicopters and things like that in the modern world, I think then it becomes ridiculous. But if you look at Revelation as a book that was written to talk about the seats in Laban, the situation in life of the people of the audience, and then you compare that to Tacitus, Suetonius, and Josephus, you start to see there's a ton of correlation between what Revelation says and what actually happened about 3.5 years later. Really, really interesting stuff. So, yeah, Revelation, one of my favorite books of all time. Favorite movie? Favorite movie would have to be probably The Matrix, because it was just so profound. And then 616, which Zonia knows about. It's an inside joke that we've had for about 1.5 years now. The Matrix, probably because it was just so deep and so true to life, I think. Why do people like your religious belief? I don't know. I didn't know that. What's up, Katie Robertson? I didn't know that people liked my religious belief. I didn't know that. Most of the time we get bad feedback from it, but we don't care. I like Signum Regis, Theocracy, Hypersonic, Narnia, Metatron. Metatron is interesting. I'm actually studying Metatron right now. He's a very, very interesting figure. Intertestamental literature. I didn't know that Signum Regis was a Christian band. Interesting stuff. What is 616? 616 is a textual variant from 666. So most manuscripts have 666 as a mark of the beast. There are some manuscripts that have 616. In both cases, you can get Caesar Nero from both of those numbers. So that's 616. You know, Neron Kaiser, yada yada yada. Vin liked The Matrix. I freaking love that movie. I like Inception more. Does Revelation speak about all the armies of the world surrounding Jerusalem? I wonder what that would be. Doesn't mention all the armies of the world, but remember, the Roman legions had also conscripted other defeated nations to come and fight against Jerusalem. So you literally had multiple armies, plural. And Jesus talks about this in Luke 21. He said, when you see Jerusalem surrounded by armies, he said armies in the plural, and that's because, like I said, the Romans conscripted other nations to come and help in the siege against Jerusalem. So that's another very, very interesting aspect of the situation. Is the correct translation for the number of the beast? No, 616 is a textual variant that in a minor manuscript family, it has 616 instead of 666. 616 used to be my area code. Move. Listen to Dave Mustaine's version of Psalm 23. That's interesting. Have you seen The Cell? I believe I have. Rage and Ryu, when can we get some stand-up reactions? I don't know. I'm not completely closed off to the topic of stand-up reactions. I'm just not sure. Vin, I saw your Hail Satan upload, so I ordered Hail Satan. Then I watched your upload. I was very annoyed when I realized you streamed it prior to dissecting it. Sorry, buddy. I very rarely request song, but I lost a friend today, and this is kind of my hope song. Sarah McLachlan, Angel. Cool. If not, just wanted to ask. What, Ian? How did that happen, Ian? That's terrible. I'm sorry that happened to you, buddy. But definitely, we'll get that to you. Juicy Smoyer. Man, I'm sorry about that. I really am. "666 never had anything to do with Satan other than imperfection times 3 for emphasis. It says it was a man's number." Yeah, It's sort of it represents, 7 is a number of perfection and 6 is like just short of perfection, and it's kind of like man's attempt to attain perfection and utopia without God, always falling short. So you didn't have bold and underline and exclamation points in biblical languages. And so the way that the Bible emphasizes something is by repeating it right after the other, right? So you have like holy, 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 et cetera, et cetera. And so when you see 666, it's sort of like an eternal form of imperfection that you're never going to be able to attain to that level. And that's the ultimate sort of smack in the face of godless humanism, I think, is what's being communicated there. But yeah, I mean, I see your point. Cancer sucks. I agree. Damn, Ian. I'm really sorry about that, buddy. I'll definitely be praying for you for sure. I'm really sorry about that. Man. Shout out to the big homie Ian. Ian's one of the most loving, soft-hearted, kind-hearted individuals, human beings that you will ever find terra firma. So, sucks. Terrible stuff. Okay, I'm out of here. Want to eat, going to bed for 15-hour shift at Walmart. Stay safe, Chris. God's protection over you, buddy. And thank you. Honestly, if you're one of these workers, man, Walmart, your truck driver, whatever, man, thank you. Our country has not given folks in those industries respect they deserve. And I'm not trying to call out left wing or right wing. It's just, there are just elements in this country that look down upon and disrespect those jobs. And right now, all the fancy smancy YouTubers are holed up in their houses, while the real people that are the foundation and ground of America are out there grinding, doing their thing. So Really appreciate you guys. Thank you so much. You guys are literally the front lines, and I'm glad there's anything that this horrible situation has brought to the fore. It's a good smack in the face for people in their ivory towers to realize who's really running the country and who the heroes really are. So much love to all of you guys that are out there grinding and doing this stuff, man, because you guys are doing important stuff. How do we know the number of the beast isn't actually 999 and everyone just read the Bible upside down? Because we have literally thousands of manuscripts from Revelation. But I hear you. I hear you. Is it possible Judas isn't in hell since he has been possessed by Satan? He did not have full control over his actions. Later returned the money to the chief priest before hanging himself. You know, I've had evolving perspectives on Judas. I think there's probably a 2% chance that maybe he made it, inshallah. The fact that he was possessed by Satan does not excuse him in my mind in the way that, you know, if somebody killed somebody, vehicular manslaughter, and then the toxicology report came back and he was drunk, we wouldn't say, well, he was drunk, he didn't have complete control over himself. We would say the fact that you allowed yourself to be drunk and opened yourself up to drunkenness and went behind the wheel makes you even more culpable. And so Judas's heart, it wasn't as if people don't get possessed by Satan like getting CV. It's not like somebody sneezes on you, you get possessed by Satan. From a biblical perspective, you've got to open yourself up to spiritual darkness, and it's clear from Judas's biography in the New Testament that he allowed himself to do that. So, no, I wouldn't say that his possession by Satan gets him any brownie points, but I just know that the Lord is gracious and compassionate, slow to anger, and rich in love. And so while it doesn't look very good for Judas, inshallah, who knows? Maybe one day they're able to squash the beef, inshallah. Did you see the stupid, cringy Imagine video all the movie stars did? I did not. I did not. I don't disagree with you, but you also can't play the work you YouTubers are doing. We're all stuck here at homes, and a lot of people are turning to YouTube for comfort. That's true. That's true. That's true. That's true. It's just, you know, this whole Medicare for all stuff and the campaign that all of us have been on to try to bring about a more compassionate system in America. And I've just been hearing about pull yourself up by your bootstraps and the glories of capitalism and yada, yada, yada. And then there's this sort of like resentment for the worker. You know what I mean? And but then when a crisis hits, these guys and these women, quite frankly, are on the front lines, literally putting themselves in danger. Not so much for the economy's sake, but because we literally cannot function as a country without these people. And so you turn around and say, man, can we at least get these people $15 an hour? I really hope that people learn the freaking lessons that need to be learned from this thing. And it's something that's very, very important to me that we understand. We have in this society, in this economy, we have devalued people based on how they work and what they do, and I just hope now that, you know, I hope we don't forget the lesson here. These people are absolutely valuable, and $15 an hour is the minimum of what, you know, they should be making, in my opinion. So your point is very, very well taken about YouTubers helping out as well. Thank you all so much for the kindness and love. Yeah, man. Love you, Ian, buddy. I'll be praying hardcore for you and your friends, family, fashal. So yes, Twitch and YouTube, we're doing our thing, and I mean honestly, it's a big reason I'm doing this right now. I'd much rather be in the room with Sori and maybe playing Fortnite or whatever. But I really believe that, you know, this is what we can do to kind of lighten things up for people and encourage people to stay home, inshallah. So there you go. Dun, 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 dun. Do you speak fluent Arabic? You keep saying inshallah. If I'm أنا ما بعرف شوية عربي شوية. Just enough to not get myself killed if I ended up in situations, but شوية. If Jesus was meant to die for us, then Judas played the correct part. Did he not? God's will. Yeah, he did. For sure. For sure. Peace and love, guys. Take care in this period. Yep. Take care. Wash your hands and love your neighbor by staying away from your neighbor. Do you think COVID-19 is a sort of response from God for mankind's actions? I'm not going to comment on that right now. I'm not going to comment on that right now. Don't go saying the workers, Finn. Someone might mistake you as some sort of socialist. Yeah, I know, River. I know. We watched Hereditary recently. Yeah, Hereditary. Yeah, so I'm actually going to watch a Hereditary explanation because I think, what's up, Ruben? I think the Paimon thing or whatever is important, and because I don't have that background, I think I missed a lot of things. So there's like a YouTube video explaining Hereditary, and I'd like to see it. There were definitely some moments. There was definitely some moments in that movie that were scary and terrifying, and but overall I was expecting more from it than what I got. Is there anything in the text that would suggest Judas is in heaven? No. I mean, all the texts are universally horrible. The only reason that I evolved a little bit of giving Judas a shot at making it was there was one particular phrase. I'm not going to quote it right now, but there was one particular phrase that Jesus said that I said, okay, that's a deal breaker. He's done. But then when I looked at the Old Testament background for the phrase, I said, wait a second, that doesn't necessarily mean that. And so that's the best I can do. I'm being intentionally vague here. I might, Bricktown, have a one-on-one discussion with you about it at some point if it's really bugging you and kind of lay the case out. But I'm being intentionally vague here. I appreciate the demonological references, as you can imagine, but yeah, the movie wasn't super great in my. I don't think God gets involved directly anymore. I think we are responsible for our own fate, higher power or not. Even if the Christian God's the real deal, I think it's on us. I think God, like any parent, I know based on what He's shown us in Scripture, every parent wants their kid to come to a level of maturity and partnership, and so. That's a big thing that's really exciting for me is the prospect of having a partnership with my son, in our family business. And to me, that's the epitome of life. It doesn't get better than that. And I've done a lot of cool stuff in the world, but that prospect is amazing. And so I just think that God is looking at us and generation after generation, one of us is going to figure it out. We're going to get it. And we're going to partner with him, and we're going to make this place the paradise it was meant to be. I don't think God's ultimate mission is about us disappearing from the earth and going to heaven. The ultimate mission is the blending of heaven and earth, and a lot of that has to do with what we do in the world and how we treat each other. Which is why I say the things that I say, and the things that we say on this forum are not popular to any group and make people want to kill us in both groups. But that's our role, and that's everybody's role. So, good one. 78% of Americans are living paycheck to paycheck, according to Forbes. The fallout from this pandemic is going to be unlike anything we've ever seen before, I think. Yeah. Yeah. I agree. Tough stuff. Please pass on my thanks and sorry for her kind words in the Shine On video. I think at some point in the future I can help her confusion about the internet negativity surrounding autism. Yeah, man. Ian, you really, really, really opened our eyes to, the struggle and the beauty of autistic people. It's kind of been a blind spot blind spot for us. Favorite Gojira song? The Gift of Guilt. Favorite Gojira song, definitely. You don't know, you believe. No, I know. I don't have a postmodern epistemology. I feel once we're gone, the earth will go green and nurse herself to where she used to be. I hear you. I hear you. Brian Welsh, the corn guitarist, have a band named Love and Death. Very good. I agree. I agree. I'm going to tell the big homie next time I see him, like, bro, we need more Love and Death, man. Me and my son started a snake breeding business. It's been fun together. I bet. I bet. I live for your live videos in the... Yeah. Big homie Dan, what's up? Jesus gets too much sympathy for the crossing to me. Dude gets a rule of heaven afterwards. Kind of sweetens the deal to me. Well, John, well, keep in mind, in Christian theology, Jesus was already ruling in heaven. So it's not like he went to the cross in order to rule in heaven. He left ruling in heaven to live among us for 30 plus years. And the other thing that people don't realize on the cross is that Jesus, his main concern was not the nails of the cross. It was bearing the wrath of God. As it says in the scripture, all we like sheep have gone astray. We've turned everyone to his own way, and the Lord has laid on him the iniquity of us all. And later on in the text, it says, it pleased the Lord to crush him. So the Lord crushed, God the Father crushed Jesus on the cross with our sin. Or 1 Corinthians, he made him who knew no sin to be sin for us. And so we don't know what it's like because, a fish doesn't know it's wet. We live and swim and breathe in sin. That's all we do. So we don't understand what it's like to be a pure and perfect being who has never ingested sin, as it were, to become sin, the sins of billions of people, and then pay for it by taking the punishment from God that those billions of people deserved. He literally endured billions of hells compressed into those hours, which only a divine being could do or comprehend. So I get it. If you don't understand the theology behind the concept of substitution, I understand why you would say that. But if you do, then there's a sense in which he's still bearing the punishment. So there's that. How's things going, you guys self-isolating? It's going decent. I mean, like I said, our life hasn't really changed much because 20 minutes, guys, 20 minutes. We've basically been in this state the whole time, so we're okay. Why God got to do Jesus like that? Because if he didn't do Jesus like that, he'd have to do me and you like that, and he loved us. And so the cross is sort of the what happens when God's love and God's justice meets together. God's not going to compromise his standard of holiness and goodness. And when God declared his name to Moses, one of the things he said is that he will by no means leave the guilty unpunished. But on the other hand, God also says that he's gracious and compassionate, slow to anger, and rich in love. And so how does a God who will not leave any guilt unpunished also pour out grace and mercy to people? And the solution, or the deep magic, as C.S. Lewis said, was that he would send a perfect person to take on the punishment that those billions of people deserve, so that he poured out his wrath on Christ so that he could pour out his grace and mercy on us. And so that's why that had to happen. Good question. That's something I've always struggled with. Why was God wrathful towards Jesus? If he was saving his creation from eternal damnation, I get he took on our sins, but this was the plan. Yeah, that was the plan. Because I'll tell you something. I've had every Christian, I'll say it this way. Every Christian I've ever run into has doubted God's love for them, or has doubted that God sees them, or doubt that God's compassionate for them. I mean, I certainly have. And I just remember dwelling on the cross, and I just remember moments with God where he would say to me, what else could I do to prove to you that I love you? And it's a pretty, look, metalheads can probably understand that sort of extreme devotion or whatnot. But to me, the cross is the ultimate symbol that you know, there are a lot of times I fall into doubt about God's love and, how could he love me and yada, yada, yada. And then when you start having kids, like I love people in the village and, I've risked my life for other people. I think people can pretty much put together my life, for the last, 10, 15 years. If you're listening, people can, have put things together. But I'll tell you something. When you first hold your kid, like in the hospital when he's born, I remember holding Dorian the first time he was born, and the degree to which you love that kid is almost it's terrifying. You have that whole like the dilemma, the trolley dilemma, where it's like, you got one person on one side of the track, and then you have, 9 people on this side of the track, and like if you press the lever, it's the train is going to run over that one guy. If you press the other lever, the train's going to run over the 9 people, and you're like, okay, so what lever do you press? And then what happens is they juice up the thing. So like most people say, well, the one person, because you're going to save more people, and so the utilitarians go, aha, so you are a utilitarian. That's kind of the dilemma. But then they spruce it up. They say, okay, what if the one person on that was your son, though? Right? And I will say without hesitation, if my one son, Dorian, was on that train track, and literally the rest of the world, the rest of the planet Earth, all 8 billion of you were on the other side, I would take my son 10 times out of 10 times. 100%. Not even think about it. Wouldn't feel bad about it either. I'd probably feel bad about it. I would never. Now, if it was me, if it was, hey, you're on the track, you're going to die, or 2 people, 3 people, the whole world, I would probably on a good day do that for the world or for 5 other people. But my son, no way. It would never happen. It would never happen. I would never think about doing it. So when I think about the crucifixion in Christ, yes, I think about Jesus's love for me, that he would do that. But I think, honestly, God the Father almost showed a greater amount of love than even Jesus did in giving us Jesus to do that to. God so loved the world. Notice, Jesus doesn't say, I so love the world that I gave myself. Isn't that interesting? It's God so loved the world that he gave, because it's a recognition that for a father to lose his son is the epitome of sacrifice. For a parent to sacrifice their child for the good of the others is the epitome of sacrifice. Laying down your life is not the epitome of sacrifice. Laying down the life of your son is the epitome of sacrifice. And so I don't know what question I'm answering, but there it is. It's the ultimate display of God's love towards me, and it is, and I've never gotten over that. And as I've grown in my walk with God and having kids myself, and bless God, we just had another one, a year ago, Orion, coming up on a year, and I've got 5, 6 of them, and I wouldn't give any of them for any of you. And I genuinely love some of you, but I wouldn't give a single one of them for any of you. I wouldn't give a single one of them for the whole room of you. And I genuinely love some of you guys. I pray for you guys. There's not one day that goes by I don't think about Ian and Zonia and a couple other people every single day. But I'd never do it. And so, anyway, that's the answer to that question. It's God's ridiculous, crazy demonstration of love that really makes no sense, especially once you start having kids. Stay safe. Stay safe. Right, Spark Brain, I'm with you. Also, Zonia is live, so check out Zonia. Check out Zonia's live stream. Why do you think divinity has any value in the first place? What has divinity ever done for you? I don't mean what has God done, but rather divinity as a status. I don't really understand that question. My brother. So I'm not sure. I'm not sure what you mean by what has divinity done for you. Favorite Megadeth song? I'll have to think about that. Anytime people ask me about my favorites, I usually don't give an answer because I really want to think about it, because I don't want to just throw out a title just because I feel pressure to answer the question. So like I really want to give like a genuine answer. So I'm not certain what my favorite Megadeth song is. Tornado of Souls? Not sure. Do you relate more to your parents now that you're a parent? Absolutely. I've forgiven my parents millions of times over now that I myself have become a parent. So yes, having a child definitely changes you. Do you know the band DRI? No, never heard of them. I can't say for sure since I don't have kids, but I would like to think I would save the world for the life of one. Yeah, I mean, you might. You might. It's very, very possible. I just wouldn't. Peace and love, my dude. I need to head out. Good night and God bless. God bless you too, buddy. Have you ever read anything by H.P. Lovecraft? No. No. Cosmicism and the Cthulhu mythos. Yeah, no, I haven't read anything by Lovecraft. Sorry. Are you guys planning on doing more Green Day reactions? Yes, we are. There's another Punk Week coming. Yes, there is. Is listening to running cheating? According to Joe Rogan, it is. Yeah, that was David Goggins, you know, the ultra marathon guy. And I got to tell you, I I don't know if I agree with him, but ever since I started listening to Goggins, I've stopped listening to music while I'm on the elliptical. So like I did 2 miles on the elliptical at like an 8:46 pace or something like that was my best. And I I didn't listen to any. I don't listen to music when I'm at the gym. I don't. I'm usually listening to an audiobook or something like that. Um, Sometimes I'm listening to Tim Pool or whatever. Nothing like inspirational, like because you know Goggins really opened me up to that going to the gym and working out and physical exertion is also about training the mind and hardening the mind as much as it is about hardening your body. And so yeah, so I don't know if it's cheating. I just know that there's one component of your mind of your being that is not being worked out when you're relying on the music to get you that shot of adrenaline to you know do whatever you need to do. So um that's where I'm at with it. 15 minutes, guys. 15 minutes. Lovecraft changed the way I think about the holiness of God and fear of God. Seth, do me a favor and send me an email about how that happened, because I would love to see that broken down. Any bands you find underappreciated? I think Carnival is an underappreciated, underrated band. My dad used to say, I love you kids with every fiber of my being. You'll understand one day. It's true. It's true. What's up, Wyatt? Thanks for asking, buddy. I'm doing pretty good tonight. Got my folks here. Got all my friends here. So that's not all my friends, but a lot of them. So that's cool. Got my son sitting here. So that's cool. So I'm doing pretty good. Demon Hunter, Ash, please play it and react to it. Okay. Noted. Did you say Carnival? They're amazing. Yes, Carnival. Okay, let me reword that question. Why do you have reverence for beings based on their divine status? Why does it matter that they're divine? They're still people. Well, I don't have reverence for beings. I have reverence for a singular being, and that is because he is utterly unique in his constitution. And there is literally no thing like the Trinity in the entire universe. Everything else has a counterpart. Allah does not. And so that's why I revere him for the very simple reason, the same reason that we revere diamonds over regular rocks that you find all over the street. Rocks on the street are a dime a dozen. You see them all the time. There's nothing unique about it. You do not see diamonds, though. Diamonds are rare, and it's from that they get their uniqueness. And so when I hear that God is holy, that's what it means, is that he is a solitary diamond in the universe. So that's why. And no, they're not like us. They're not like us. God is a self-sustaining, all-consuming fire. You, Ben, require lots of things to keep you alive. You, Ben, much like me, can be undone by a microscopic virus that we cannot even see with the naked eye. God is not like us. No, sir. No, sir. Porcupine Tree. Yes, we've done about 2 or 3 Porcupine Tree songs. Watch all. I'm actually selling my street rocks for $29.99 a dozen. Free market capitalism, baby. What's up, Tyrone? Everyone should listen to The Torment by Seventh Angel. Interesting. Have you ever listened to Dragon Force? Yes. I'm trying to actually get Dragon Force on the channel, but I don't know how we're going to accomplish that. Because of the copyright stuff and the strikes and all that. What's your email? vinandsorry@gmail.com, Seth. How about a V and Sorry Fast Pass BOGO week? What is a Fast Pass BOGO week, Raul? I aspire to be the man God created me to be, and the man Jesus taught me to be. The older I get, the more I understand, and the more he reveals to me. Same here, Spark Brain. I'm with you, buddy. Have you heard of the band Indian Summer? No. Karen Crisis is one of the women in extreme metal who has been around since the early 1990s. Many of the women in the metal scene are influenced by her. Can you review some of her music? What's the name of her band? Hey, Vin, Tyrone Johnson's an amazing person. Just want to let you know that. Okay. Shout out to the big homie Tyrone Johnson for being an amazing person. If Ultimate Musing says that about you, then that's like legit. Because you didn't say that about a lot of people. See you, Vin. Y'all are awesome. Keep up the good work. All right. Thank you, man. I appreciate you, Joshua. Stay safe and stay away from people as much as you can, inshallah. Sorry is in the other room. Oh, my goodness. Where's Sorry? Where's Sorry? That's when we know, like, who the real star of the channel is, huh? 5 minutes, guys. 5 minutes. 5 minutes. What's your favorite Metallic song? I'm assuming Fade to Black because of Kurt's guitar solo. Yeah, Fade to Black. One. Fuel. I Disappear. I Disappear is a very special song to me because it basically it's my childhood. And there's a lot of them. Fade to Black. I don't know, man. The tie between One and Fade to Black, I'd probably have to give the edge to Fade to Black. Fade to Black. Fade to Black. 3 minutes, guys. 3 minutes. Right on, Tyrone. Favorite book that isn't the Bible? Favorite book that is not the Bible. Well, there's a sci-fi book I talked about. My 5th grade teacher's an alien. I really enjoyed that. And then there is a book by John Sailhammer that none of my Christian friends have, but is one of my favorite books and completely blew my mind and changed so many things for me. And it's called The Message of the Pentateuch. So it's a book about the Bible, but it's my favorite book of all time. It's just unbelievable. Unbelievable. And of course, G.K. Beale's commentary on Revelation is also. So those are my favorite books. Encyclopedia Brown, growing up, that was a big thing for me. Hey, Vin, covers week song Sepultura Orgasmatron original by Motorhead. Send that to me in an email because I really want to compile the list. Because there's been a lot. There was a John Lennon Imagine one I want to do. So there's been a couple of them. God's Gonna Cut You Down, I think, by Marilyn Manson. So please remember these ones for me. Metallica, Dream No More, based on H.P. Lovecraft. Okay, thank you, Dark Leviathan. There's a very good chance we could be doing that in a week or so. If you haven't seen that in a week, Leviathan, send me an email, vinandstory@gmail.com. 1 minute, guys. 1 minute. 1 minute. Chocolate or peanut butter? Chocolate. Fade to Black has a special meaning to me. When I was younger, I have been at that point, and I would be dead if God didn't send an angel to save me. I married her. Mashallah, tabaraka. Yeah, I hear you. I hear you. Have you ever had a bad concert experience? I'm asking because I saw Slipknot for the second time in February, and people were fighting just to get to the front row. Yeah. Went to a corn show one time. My girlfriend at the time got in a fight. Almost got in a fight with somebody. But other than that, ours have been pretty positive, especially recently since the channel. People recognize you, and we all have fun together and all that, and we all enjoy the show. So it's 99% positive. But yeah, people fighting to get to the front. Yeah, it's pretty crazy sometimes. Thank you for reading my name correctly. The most shocking artist you guys can react to is G.G. Allen live. You know what? I'm going to put something up on Facebook, and if I get 150 likes on that thing, we will do the G.G. Allen thing. Night all. Thank you, Vin, for doing these firesides. Thanks, Story 2. Peace and love, Vin. Vin, thanks for hanging out today. Been a rough one. I appreciate hearing y'all talk. Have a good night. Yeah, River Roth. I'm going to try to do this. I'm going to try to do this again very, very quickly because it's been cool to hang out with you guys and just talk and chill. And COVID has come up a little bit, and some politics has come up a little bit. But, to give everybody a respite from, what's going on. So hopefully this is as fun for you as it is for me. Only trolls like G.G. Allen. He eats his own. Okay. All right. Wash your hands. Don't touch your face. Don't hoard TP. Love your neighbor by avoiding your neighbor. Avoid them physically. Also, check out Zonia's channel. Also, I don't know if he's still in the room, but my buddy Blake from Nuclear Reactions, he has a channel as well. And I'm going to put that on here now. So if you want to, where is it? Where'd it go? There it is. Blake X. There it is. Check out his channel as well. He's got a pretty cool style. So there you go. If you want to pass some more time. Vin, where do I find your music? Send me an email, Emmanuel. I've got one released song, and I've also got an unreleased song that I'm debating whether or not to release to the public. But here is, I just sent you a link to the song Breathe that we did, me and Sori did. So there's that. And then there's another guy. His name is Ranter Matt. If you're of the political persuasion, and Ranter Matt is kind of like the, I don't want to say he's like the opposite of Middle America or whatever, but he's more center left. Definitely hates him some Trump. So if you want some of that energy, you can check him out. So those are a couple channels that you should watch, you should look at, because I think they're really cool, and I wouldn't recommend them if I didn't think they were cool. So Vin, in your opinion, who is the best artist that has combined rap, hard rock, and heavy metal together? This, I feel like Limp Bizkit did a decent job at it. Korn, once in a while they would rap, but they weren't really rap metal. People were calling Korn rap metal. They really weren't. I think Limp Bizkit were. Head PE I thought was good too. But, you know. There you go. Okay. Right. Vin, I have subscribed to you since you and Sora listen to her Ghost in the Fog. Thank you, Wyatt. Appreciate you. Liv did okay. Yeah. Well, Linkin Park. Well, the dude from Linkin Park, Mike Shinoda, he's an actual rapper. Like, that's my background. So when I look at Fred Durst, I'm like, man, this guy's not a rapper, bro. But I really do believe Mike Shinoda is a rapper. NF, if NF did like a joint with Korn, which now that I think about it, it's not impossible, actually. That would be a really good kicker because I know that that Head really likes NF, so my kids would love that. Maybe they'd start listening to Korn if, yeah. So I'd like to hear an NF Brian collabo. Let me see here. Just gave me an idea. Okay. Okay. So anyway, guys, I got to get out of here. Much love to everybody. August Burns Red. I think we're supposed to run into them pretty soon here. You've been working out, man. I have been working out. It's true. It's true. It's true. It's true. And I'm over on my stream limit, but much love to you guys. I got to get out of here. Take care of each other. Love your neighbor as yourself. And the best way you can love your neighbor is to avoid them. Pray for them, love them, send them good vibes, wash your hands, don't touch your face. Vin out. You want to say goodbye to the people? You say Dory out. Get it? Dory, sorry. You know what I mean?
Oh, I see.
You're now taller than me, huh? You've become a strapping young lad. You become a strapping young lad, huh?
Alright, Dory out in place of Sorry.
Well, I mean, you got to look at the camera, big guy.
Oh.
Yeah,
Dory out.
You're definitely an amateur.
Wow.
All right, Vin out.
Dory out.